What's going on, you guys? TBR here, back yet again with another King of Fighters All-Star video. And in today's video, we have a very exciting bit of news that we need to talk about. Of course, we now know what the next EX fighter to be added into the King of Fighters All-Star with the EX Volume 5 is going to be probably next week. We're also going to be talking about that login bonus, more specifically, what you should be choosing with your BS and SS selectors. So we have a lot that we're going to be getting into, but before we go ahead and get into all of that and more, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe, and let's just go ahead and get into the news, and then we'll talk about those selectors, right? So the first thing we're going to talk about here is, of course, this forum post from CM Yuri that went up just a few hours ago, the appearance of a new EX fighter. Yes, the fighter behind the silhouette event. So basically, we are going to be able to get some rewards here before we talk about that teaser. Let's talk about the rewards. All participants are going to get 500 AP, and then 50 lucky participants are going to get 5 EX Fighter Summon tickets for Volume 5. So, of course, they couldn't give you just a full multi, right? That would be too easy. But anyway, this is going to be distributed sequentially after 9:30, so this pretty much confirms that next week, probably Thursday or Friday, more than likely Thursday, we are going to be seeing this new character along with his new banner. So let's talk about the new character real quick. Now, if you guys take a look here, we've seen these types of teasers before. We know how these things work. It's like, who's that Pokemon, right? But for King of Fighters. This here is, of course, going to be EX Rugel. There is really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's pretty obvious who it's going to be. EX Rugel is going to be the next EX fighter to be added into the King of Fighters All-Star. Now, with this being said, like I mentioned, this is probably going to be happening next Thursday. We'll start getting announcements or teasers or something probably over this weekend or the early part of next week. And then we'll have some sort of in-game event notice, update notice, etc. next Wednesday or Thursday, more than likely, with Thursday or Friday being the release of the character, right? So that is pretty much what we're looking at there. I'm assuming that Wednesday we're going to get the update notices, Thursday we'll get the character, but time will tell. So that is what we've got there. We'll have to wait and see what character is going to get rerun alongside him, or if there's just going to be a whole new character alongside him. We do not know. I'm assuming it'll be a rerun, but time will tell. So that is what we've got there, you guys. EX Rugel is going to be the next EX fighter. Hopefully you guys can open up the wallets, because I have a hard time believing most people have a lot left over after Tekken 7 just ended, right? So that is pretty much what we've got there. So not much else to talk about in regards to this. Of course, this is extremely hype. This is super cool, but I do feel like this type of a fan favorite, this cool of a character coming right after the Tekken 7 collaboration round 2, yeah, it's a Netmarble thing to do, right? So that's what we've got there, you guys. Let me know in the comment section how excited you are for EX Rugel to be added into the game. I'm hoping he ends up being a blue typing. Time will tell, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now, with that being said, guys, I don't think there's much more we can talk about there, so I just want to go ahead and segue into the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to talk about today, because today is the first day that you're going to be able to pick up this BS selector, right? And I wanted to go ahead and just talk about both the BS selector and the SS selector. Big shout out to the captain over on my Discord for giving me this idea and telling me he wanted me to do this. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Again, if you guys give me suggestions on things, who knows, I might end up doing it. But overall, this check-in log, I haven't really talked about too much, but this is probably one of the best check-in logs, most generous check-in logs that are non-Ruby based, that are going to be item based, that we've had in a very, very long time. This is an incredible login bonus. Where was this during the anniversary, right? Or do they can still consider this the anniversary? Who knows? But the nicest thing about this thing is going to be these two selectors, right? So next week we'll be able to pick up this SS selector, but right now we do have the BS selector. And I want to talk about which character you should choose here, because I actually have a bit of a tip for a lot of you out there. So in here, there is going to be an extremely good pool of characters, right? If you were to take out all the EX characters in the game, and you were to boil the game down to just BS, SS, Gold Borders, and regular FES, then basically this pool here and the SS pool are the best characters in the game, right? So that really is going to mean that these tickets are going to be very, very valuable, right? And of course, you can't get collab characters anymore, so you don't want to put those in the discussion. You know what I mean. These characters are pretty much going to be the cream of the crop outside of the more premium EX stuff that we've gotten recently, or select collaboration characters. Not all collaboration characters are better than some of these guys, but some of them are. So with that said, I want to talk about what character I would choose here, because I know there's going to be a lot of different people out there. There's going to be people who might have a character already out of this pool that they're trying to finish. At that point, I would recommend using generic memories. There might be people out there that don't have one of these characters and there's a favorite in here. I always tell you guys, pull for your favorites. However, there's going to be an asterisk next to that, because the next group of people that I want to talk to are going to be the people that really just don't know what they want, because maybe there isn't a character here that they're dead set on and they need some help and advice. My tip to all of you guys out there, I don't care where you're at in the game right now, my tip on this BS selector is to not use it right now. That is my opinion. If we were to take a look here, and I'm going to show you guys, and then we'll kind of go back to that, because I want to show you guys something real quick. Let me go ahead and collect this, and then I'll go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. So this BS selector, the reason why I say you should save it is because, of course, if we take a look here, this BS selector, and I wonder if it's going to get put in with the rest of my selectors, because I have several different selectors here. All right, so here's this one right here. So basically this BS selector, you'll notice, does not have any sort of time frame you have to use it by, right? So that's what we're looking at there. So if I were to go back here and I were to take a look at the pool, the reason why I think that you should hold on to this and sit on it for a while is because the majority of these characters have not gotten reruns yet, meaning they have not gotten change-up kits, they have not been buffed. And there are several characters in here that are so good, if they were to get some sort of buff and get a change-up kit, then they would be absolutely incredible. I'm talking like right up there, not going to be EX level, but right up there with the best of the best of the best that aren't going to be just the uber broken EX characters, right? I'm looking at characters such as Dark Ash, BS Nameless. I'm also looking at Zero, Ignis, Chrysalid, even though he's always going to be bugged at this point. There's a lot of characters in here that could be very, very good down the road once they get buffed. So in my opinion, I think that really right now you should sit on this, because most of the best BS characters in this pool have not gotten buffed yet or gotten rerun. And I think that eventually that's going to happen, probably over the course of the next couple of months. We could even see one of these in the next banner. So I think that right now it makes sense to sit on this. If you have to pick one of these characters right now, like right now, I would say that your best bet post buff, again, most of these haven't been buffed, post buff, probably your best bet is going to be this Leona here, or Rugal, but I would go with Leona just because she's going to have more versatility across certain things. Rugal's kind of just a beat stick who has been outdated at this point in a big way. So with that being said, I think that this particular one, you wait. I don't think that you need to use this right now. Most new players that just got into the game probably have a bunch of the Tekken characters, and if you have a bunch of the Tekken characters right now, you're probably better off just using those and waiting on this, because chances are your Tekken characters are stronger than any of these right now anyway. So that is my opinion on that. I think that right now, hold on to this ticket. It is very, very valuable for the future, right? Because down the road, some of these characters might get ridiculously good buffs, and you might be kicking yourself that you don't have that selector, considering the fact that we don't get these selectors very often for free. And on top of that, these characters here don't get rerun that often. So that is kind of what I'm thinking on that one. I think that you should wait right now. But of course, again, consider the fact that if it's a favorite, that is something to consider there. And on top of that, if you're a veteran who already has most of these characters maxed out or whatever the case may be, then you may not feel like you need to necessarily wait on that. But for most people, I think that it'd be better to just wait. Now on the SS one, the SS one's interesting. I could tell you to wait on this, but honestly, you guys, looking through this character pool, I think that based upon what we know about how they've buffed characters in the past, I don't necessarily think that a lot of these characters, even post-buff, are going to be like ridiculous. at this point, unless they decide to really just crank up the power creep when it comes to how they buff these. However, right now, I would say that you could pretty much narrow this down to down here in this row. I think that these three right here are kind of just going to stand out above and beyond the rest of these. There's a slight case to be made for a character like Iori or Kyo. However, at the end of the day, I really do think that Terry, Mary, and Chizuru out of all of these characters are going to be the most valuable three. Now, really, it just kind of comes down to what it is you feel like you need to do, right? And there's also a case to be made for Gato as a good support. However, I think that honestly, you'd be better off just getting Kusanagi right now and having one of these or something like that. But we'll kind of talk about it. So really with these characters, Terry, Mary, and Chizuru are going to help you with a ton of content, right? Terry is still one of those characters that I use every single day. He is an incredibly strong character. He's one of the better SS characters, if not the best SS character out of this pool. So honestly, he is my favorite in this pool, but Mary is an incredible team player for things such as Guild Raid. She's still a fantastic character, so there is a case to be made for her. Chizuru is another character that's pretty decent. However, I would say that these two are probably going to be priority over her in my opinion. And then you have Gato, like I mentioned, as kind of like a runner-up. And then beyond that, I don't think the rest of this pool is all that impressive anymore. I think that while they are still all very good at certain things, I think that if you really were to be honest and look at this pool and go, okay, which of the couple of characters here would if I had to get rid of everybody else and just keep a couple and just not even consider my favoritism, because if I had to consider my favoritism, I tell you all to pick King. But if I didn't consider favoritism and I was unbiased here, I would have to say one of these two, right? With these two down here being kind of outliers. But these two right here are, in my opinion, where you would want to look. And it really just kind of comes down to what you need, what you want, but either one of them is incredible, right? Now, outside of that, there is a case to be made, like I mentioned, to save, because so many of these characters are still awaiting a rerun, right? Which a rerun would bring along with it a buff and a change-up kit. But at the same time, the same can be said in that regard to these two characters that we just recommended. So either way, one of these characters is going to get rerun at some point, and when that time comes, you're going to have that character already, and they're going to be extremely strong by comparison to where they are right now. So I do think that these two characters are really the way to go if you're just needing to pick somebody right now. But again, I do think there is a case to be made to wait on this. Again, guys, I don't think we have to be using these right now. I think that it is probably a safe bet just hold on to these and wait to see what happens. However, again, favoritism is a thing. If there's a favorite in here you don't have and you've been waiting for, then go ahead and pick them up. Favorites are favorites, I get it. But I do think that if you're just going based on meta, I think that you really want to take a look at the characters that we just talked about, right? So anyway, you guys, that's pretty much going to be my opinion on these selectors. I think that right now, the BS one, you definitely hold on to and wait, because so many of these good characters are waiting for their buffs. And then when it comes to the SS pool, I think that really you'd be safe picking Terry or Mary, because down the road, once they get buffed, they're just going to be just that much better. And right now, I think that they're kind of just leaps and bounds better than most of these characters. And honestly, that's kind of just my opinion on it. You guys can let me know yours in the comments section down below. But if I had to tell someone what they should pick, those would be the ones that I would kind of have them gravitate toward. But anyway, you guys, that's going to do it for me in today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, like, share, and subscribe on your way out. Let me know in the comments section down below what you think of Omega Rugal being added in for EX Volume 5. Let me know in the comments section down below which characters you're planning on picking with your Selector tickets, if you're planning on picking any at all. And I will talk to you all in the Saturday chat until tomorrow. But until then, you all take care. Peace.
Continue.